Welcome to the Feel Like Krys podcast. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to just kick it right off and just tell us who you are because I don't want to do an introduction.
Okay. Do I do it there or here? Where do you want me to do it? To you?
You're doing it right now.
Okay.
This is live.
I'm Stina. I don't know where to, if I
look at me,
okay, it's more natural.
You can look at there sometimes. You can say hi to the people.
The camera?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Stina. I am an English professor. I teach yoga for FLK. This is my first month of teaching community classes, which is very exciting. I also run, I play volleyball, I do jiu-jitsu, I do improv. I wear many hats.
Where were you born?
Belleville, New Jersey.
So New Jersey, born and raised.
Yes.
We love that. And track back, teacher, how long have you been a teacher? What do you teach?
I teach business writing. So I had a career in marketing before education. And so I teach a lot of the things that I did in marketing to students at a university. But I had a job at a private Catholic high school. And the Catholic way is to work 4 jobs on one salary. So I coached their volleyball team. I did their campus ministry. I was their recruiter and I taught media classes.
How long did you do that?
4 years.
Wow.
While I did my master's program. And then left to become a director of marketing and then left that job to teach business writing.
Did you make that switch because you missed teaching? Or
it's funny because I never wanted to be a teacher. I've never, and every time when I get to know my students, I will tell them this, but I don't like to tell them right off rip anymore because it's not good. But I never took an education class. I never wanted to be a teacher. I never wanted to do the same thing over and over again. And I just kept falling into the same space of I can help people. I can do this, like we can work together and that's how I got involved in coaching too. Cause I played volleyball for 20 years, but I coached for like 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
And it just became this, instead of looking at it as this monotonous thing, which was the vibe that I always got, it just became, oh, this is a way that I can help people. And I really like to help people.
Well, everything can be monotonous.
Yeah.
Right. And actually, when you think about it, teaching is probably the thing that you can make it monotonous, but it's also one of the things that naturally is the least because you're dealing with humans who are different. But if you're showing up the same with every person, then you're doing them and you a disservice. It's monotonous to you and not effective for them.
Yeah. And I always, that's part of it. I like to change things constantly. So one of the things that I love about teaching yoga is it's never the same class.
Never the same.
Over and over again.
Even though it's the same.
Yeah. It's the same, it's the same vibe, but it's not the same. Yeah. And so I do the same thing in my classes. I constantly change things and I don't teach too much literature, but like what I tell my students is Shakespeare hasn't written anything new lately, right? But it doesn't mean that we can't change the way that we understand it.
Yeah.
And make it make sense.
Yeah. And I wanted to have you on. Well, first, you're a brand new instructor at FLK Method, but you were teaching, and just so like our clients can get to know you better, but you were teaching yoga before that for a year, right? At your college.
Yes. That's where I got my cert.
Okay. And when you decided to do the FLK method and teach your FLK method, and when you did the training, it's so interesting to me to hear that you didn't want to become a teacher because you were so naturally a teacher. That was the first thing I said to you. I was like, oh, you have that part down pat. Like there's all the other little things, the details that have nothing to do with being an effective teacher. They're just things like you want to do to actually has something to do with effectiveness, but the thing that you can't teach is just the quality that you so naturally have.
Well, thank you. I think I like talking with people.
You do.
Yeah, I could talk to a wall. It's this morning I went for a 4-mile walk and my mom was like, I can't talk to you anymore. So I just talked to myself for the other 3 miles.
She was with you?
No, I called her.
Oh, yeah. Was she on the phone?
But then she was like, I gotta go. I can't do this anymore. I was like, all right, well, it's just me and my thoughts.
What do you talk about?
With myself, I go over my day. I have so many thoughts. I have ADD, so I don't know.
Diagnosed?
Yeah.
Okay.
ADD. And for years I've been battling it, and that's why I stay so organized and I color code lots of things because I feel like it kind of grounds me. But lots of times in the morning, all of my thoughts are kind of like a washing machine and I have to sift through them. I realize I'm mixing analogies, but it's easier for me to kind of just like talk things through. Like, what is this thought? Is it worth it? Let me talk it through before I bring it up to somebody else, because I know that we all have thoughts and it's like, is this worth sharing or should I just keep this one to myself? So I do a lot of talking like that.
Are you an oversharer?
I can be.
Okay.
I mean, I'm Italian. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of part of the DNA. Here's my emotions. They're right here.
And an Italian from New Jersey.
Yeah. It's
can't hide how you feel.
It's a stereotype I am willing to embrace.
That's one of the reasons I love New Jersey. I am such a New Jersey proud person, even though I wasn't born here, just because the people, being from Boston, very similar, where the people are just the people. It's just like, this is what it is. And so.
Yeah, but Boston is a vibe too.
It's especially the whole vibe.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more of a racist vibe, I gotta be honest. There's a little, that's the biggest difference. But outside of that, it's like the people have kind hearts, like it's just they're a product of how they were raised and the society they were raised in. But it's like real people, unashamed, just like who they are. And so there's a piece of that in New Jersey, especially in the Italian New Jersey community, which is like, what's up?
Yeah, pretty much.
This is who I am. This is what you get. So you've been teaching for how many years now total?
Well, I started, that first job I had, I was 22 and now I'm 34. So pretty much, and when I was working in marketing, I was still adjuncting. So I've pretty much been teaching, never wanting to be a teacher, but have been teaching since I graduated college.
And do you think you'll do that? Are you like, are you having an epiphany right now?
It's funny to me. I feel like my life exists to spite me many times. And you just have to laugh at it. Like I swore up and down I would never do this.
Well, your purpose is more powerful than you.
Yeah, that's and I'm having fun. I mean, that's the other thing. It's like I love writing, right? And I always said I wanted to be a writer and I do that too. But it's like, I'm having fun with teaching. And so when I'm not having fun anymore, then I know it's time to stop.
Is that when you know it's time to stop?
But like it's like it has to be a consistent.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I go every semester, any academic will tell you this, every semester is a burnout.
Yeah.
And like my therapist and I are like, hey, maybe we don't have to have a burnout every single semester. Maybe there's a better way. And then once I kind of like manipulated that and maneuvered around it, I was like, okay, this is like, I'm on a surfboard and I can navigate this. But when it gets to a point where I'm like, this is too much, I'm not in it to win it anymore, then I know that I need to do something else.
Yeah. So I want to talk about that a little bit in terms of like, just because I deal a lot with routine and being open to it changing all the time, because if you try to keep it the same, not only will it be boring, but it's not going to be effective. And we can apply that to everything, a relationship, a career, right? Like you've got to find new ways to make it innovative or to cut it if it's not the right thing.
Yeah.
So for teaching for so long, not liking your job or not liking your relationship or not liking who you are, like some days is normal.
Yes.
But when it is sort of like 5 months go by and you're still in the same place, I think that's definitely a sign. So you said you've got to a place where you feel like you're on the surfboard, you're gonna have some good days, some bad, mostly good. But in terms of doing something the same for so long, whether it's a career or how long have you been, you're married?
Mm-hmm.
How long?
3 years.
And how long were you together before
8
that?
or 9.
Okay.
Well, total. So like 6 years. Yeah.
So also long-term relationship, long-term career. We can get a lot of wisdom from you. So how do you prevent burnout and how do you keep it fun? Because you said if it's not fun anymore, you're not going to do it.
Well, I'm a Taurus and I'm very stubborn. Mm-hmm. And so that's the hardest part because I'll think of a way and then I have to do it that way. And I'm the person who's going to find the way to run through the wall first before thinking like, we can take a step back and we could climb over it. We could dig under it. We could go around it. I'm like, no, we're going to try to just jam our forehead right into this wall as fast as we can and as hard as we can. A few more times. And then maybe we'll switch it up. So I was finding, I made a joke last night in the inner circle about grading papers. Oh, it's the worst part about teaching. Everybody hates it.
Yeah.
If I could do it all over again, I would get really good at math and teach that because you don't have to grade papers.
Yeah, like people's thoughts.
And I teach writing, so it's all papers. Yeah. So
is it a lot of ChatGPT now? Can you tell?
Yes, because I teach them how to write emails, and I'm like, this is trash. This is vague and trash, and we need to fix this.
This is vague and trash.
But so what I've started to do is, instead of beating it through the students, you need to write, you need to learn how to write. Why don't we learn how to write with ChatGPT? Why don't you have ChatGPT? Because you're already going to do it. Why don't you have it create an email, and then why don't you create a revision plan so that you know how to manipulate AI to work for you? And so that was like something that I'm always trying to make new assignments, because my classes, and some academics yell at me for saying this, but my classes prepare students for their jobs, because I'm teaching them how to communicate. I'm teaching them how to problem solve. Like, I teach business writing. Like, that's something that everybody's going to use no matter what their job is. So I try to make it very real. And I try to keep it very current, but then I also try to do the same for myself. So when I'm grading papers and it's taking me forever, I think of different ways so that I can grade faster. Like this past year, I had them do an assignment, and then I had them present it in class, and I graded it while they were presenting. And so I graded like 40 assignments in an hour and a half.
We love a multitasking moment.
That was, that was like, I had to turn off my ADD and like mentally prepare to go to class, because they were presenting for like 5 minutes. So I couldn't lose focus, or I would have missed the presentation. But preparing for that, planning for it, and like mentally prepping, those are the things that kind of help me, if this is something new that I'm trying, I have to mentally prepare for it first a lot of the time.
So it sounds like you're saying, is it when there's really not a challenge that you're like bored with something? Like, when do you get to a point where you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore? And how do you get out of that to stay in it?
So I've noticed that there's two things for me. Whenever there's a fear of a loss of job, and I know that there's always a climate where you can lose I'm not tenured. So my contract could just expire. For me, that fear, that's very hard. And that's when I'm like, okay, it's just, let's apply just in case, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
And if I need to go back into business. But the other thing is, if I'm bored and things become monotonous and I start to slip back into old habits. So like when grading takes super long, when we're at a standstill with developing curriculum for students, things like that. And I'm just like, hey, we were able to get through this before. Why can't we do it now? Maybe it's time to regroup.
Have you thought about that in your relationship, that metaphor?
Yeah, there are times where, like, if I'm in an argument with my husband, I'm like, wait a minute, we're going through a loop here. This is like Groundhog Day. Let's just take a break and let's come back to it with like fresh eyes and ears. Like, I'm not a believer in, I know everybody has their own feelings on this, but if you're mad and you fear you're going to say mean things when you're mad, take a break.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to like, because then you're just, to me anyway, you're just shoving things down to fix it. But then what are you really fixing? You're not fixing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there's also when you get mad, that's the easiest emotion to feel, right? Like anger.
Yeah.
Because it's really protecting how you really feel and what you really want to say and probably what is hurting you. But I was asking that just because even again, because when I hear you talking, it's like my brain's like hearing the metaphor of just everything is like this. Everything can be monotonous if you approach it that way. And I think that you brought up a really good point of when you start slipping into old habits is a really good way to tell that you need to switch something up.
I think so, especially if you don't like those habits and those habits don't make you feel good. I mean, if an old habit that I had was like snacking on carrot sticks, I'd love to go back. But if it's not that, baby, if it doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah. Okay. How do you what made you want to teach yoga when you first got certified?
I like the physicality of it. And all right. I won't bullshit you. I'll just tell you exactly why.
But thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Because I always go, oh, it makes people feel. No, the real reason why that I wanted to teach yoga is because This is how I act in a panic situation. I look, it's like crossing the street.
Okay.
Is anybody panicking? No. Okay, then I'm going to panic. But if somebody panics first, my initial response is, okay, great. Like, let's notice this panic and like, we'll just figure it out. But if nobody panics first, then I like lose my shit.
Okay.
So like with yoga, I was like, people come here to calm down. So this is an open invitation for me to say like, okay, why are we panicking? Okay, what's going on? Like we could fix this. And then that was just like, hey, this is helping people. And then it comes down to like the breathing and then it comes down to like the physicality of it and teaching in a more physical sense. But yeah, I don't want to panic. I don't want people to panic. I want us to figure it out.
So you got into yoga so that you could be less panicked.
And help people also just find a place where they're not panicking.
That's such a real answer. And it's so on brand with FLK method, because I tell people often, if it wasn't for FLK method, I'm probably not getting up to work out. I created it for accountability, because accountability is hard. Like waking up or when you're in a situation that's scary or stressful, how do you not stress? How do you not be scared? But having that, it's accountability. You're teaching it for accountability to yourself, because if someone else comes to you with a problem that you recognize then in yourself later that week, you're like, wow,
yes,
I literally told that person XYZ. Do you hear yourself teaching yourself?
Yeah, a lot of the times. And there'll be times where I'll say I have to keep this internal. Sometimes it slips out when I teach in person, and I'll say like, damn, I should really do that too.
Sounds like a good idea. Let me know how that goes for you guys.
I'm trying to not be a do as I say. What is it? Do as I say, not as I do. I'm trying to be less of that.
You want to walk the talk.
Yeah, I think so.
That's important, but it's a process. And sometimes you're walking it hard, and sometimes you're on the edges, and sometimes you fall off and have to get back on. But the consistency of it all is just continuing to come back to it. And you're a really good example of that in a lot of ways. Podcast also.
Yeah.
So what's your podcast? What do you guys talk about?
Two Girls Watch TV. We're two girls. We talk about TV. It's very on the nose.
Okay. What's the last show? I mean, I actually try my best not to watch TV, because I become not a great person after. It's just a weird thing. I adapt whatever I watch. I'm sure maybe, I don't know if you know people like that, but if I watch Love Island, I'm now texting an ex-boyfriend. Like I will become dramatic now that I've watched Love Island.
You know, phone and like, I got a text.
Exactly. Like
Tuesday.
I can't. Like when I watch something that's like dramatic, like all of a sudden, like when I was watching, what was the show? The Royal show that everybody watched?
Okay.
What is it?
Was it Royal Pains? Or
no.
About reality?
No. The show that, oh my God, there's people listening right now that are like, la, la, la. It was like the set in Bridgerton.
Oh.
Bridgerton.
Okay.
But when I watch that show, I'm like, whatever. I'm ordering like my coffee and like a British. I mean, it just affects me so much. So anyway, I try not to watch TV, but when I do, I love a good recommendation. So what are the last like couple things you've watched? How often do you do the
Every
show?
week.
How much TV do you watch?
There are times where I'll watch 10 hours of television for one episode, because we'll watch a whole season. So it's
wow.
Yeah, so like we did Succession. I don't know if you watched.
Yes.
That was an amazing show.
Yes.
And those episodes were like an hour long. So it was a lot. I also like to do movies, but the rule of thumb is typically I have to be able to stream it from my TV.
Okay.
We don't really go to the movies. Every once in a while, like when Dune 2 came out, we went to go see it. But most recently, I'm watching The Bear now, and it's absolutely fantastic. I love the storytelling in it. But Hacks, have you heard of Hacks?
Mm-mm.
With Gene Smart and Hannah Einbinder.
What's it on?
HBO.
Okay.
It's so good.
I don't pay for that stuff.
She's an old comedian, and it's just like old humor. And
I think I have seen that.
Everything's
much
sequenced.
older, and her assistant's a woman.
Yeah.
It's like that woman. Yeah. No, that's really good.
I love that
I saw a
show.
couple episodes. I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw a couple episodes. Okay. So you guys literally just talk about the show. So it's like a book club, but it's a TV club.
So the first part of it, we go over like what it's about, the climax, the characters, the ending, the themes. And then the second part of it is like, We talk about TV a lot. What are things that we talk about? And so the second part is all segments that we kind of made up. And like we'll have a snack break. Like what did you want to eat? What would you recommend beverage wise or
Love
food?
it.
Our highs and lows. We'll read reviews we'll find like some reviews online. And we'll have like an IRL moment. This is kind of like where we get vulnerable with our audience. So like if something parallels to our lives, we'll share a story with our audience.
Oh, I love that. What were you already watching a lot of TV? So you're like, might as well do a podcast?
My co-star Danielle was.
Oh, okay.
And so it would always be like, did you watch this yet? And I'm like, it's on my list. I got to get to it. It's on my list. I think the last time I came on your podcast, you were like, you should write that down. When she said to me, it's on my list. She's like, you said that should be your tagline.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
it's like something that I always think about now.
Totally, because it's I feel like you can't go a day without someone recommending a show to you.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what are our top 3 recommendations for TV right now?
The Bear, Hacks, and oh my God. I mean, listen, Stranger Things, the last season's going to come out in December. So if you're not caught up, I would catch up.
Okay.
But the most recent season is very horror-y, and I'm not a big horror person.
Okay.
I hate scary. People make recommendations all the time. The podcast exists despite me.
Okay.
But like I'm watching Hereditary next week, and
Is it scary? Is that
apparently
scary?
it's horrifying.
When you why are you scared if you know it's fake?
It's interesting because I could listen to true crime documentary after true crime. That shit doesn't bother me.
You can see an actual person stab someone, you'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but like if it's in a movie,
if it's fake, we're scared.
It's weird. It's very strange.
What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
I don't really see too many of them. I think maybe I saw The Grudge when I was a kid.
When did this start? Can we go back to your childhood and
Sure.
Where? Do you remember what movie or character that you were just like so scared of?
I just don't think I like jump scares. And I think there's just so many like I think they're cheap shots, and there's just so many movies that have them, and I hate it so much. And I hated Fright Fest.
Do you have people that know you in your life that try to scare you because they know you don't like being scared?
No, I mean, like every once in a while in college, it was like a thing where like, no, but no. I don't know. I think I was just always a very nervous person, and like the build up for me, I think it's also the music. Like if I were to watch a scary movie without a score, probably wouldn't bother me.
The music is super powerful. You can get in and out of so many moods by music. Mm-hmm. That's why I made this confident summer playlist, because I'm like, you could just be having a crap day, and if you just put on Ja Rule, you'll be fine. Like, promise. Like
Ja Rule, Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah. You can't have a bad day with Flo Rida.
I don't think so.
You can't. So yeah, no, music is super powerful. All right. So you are 34.
Yeah.
So this is a little baby, just a little baby in the world. What are some things that you're looking to do in your life?
I'd like to finish the renovations on my house. I feel
that's going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
That's going to happen.
I would like to write a book. I keep going back and forth with the idea of writing either fiction or nonfiction. But I'd like to do that. I'd like to get to a point where my podcast is big enough to have like watch parties. Cause like we used to do like Instagram lives with the Emmys and things like that. And I just had this like dream of like hosting an event like that with the podcast and just having a bunch of people like hang out, sipping on something and like watching the Emmys together. I'd like to get to a point where like it's more of a community. I think, and I'd like to run a marathon at some point in my life. Oh, and have a baby at some point in my life.
Okay.
There's a lot of things. Not in that order.
Yeah, the house will happen. The baby will happen. Yeah, the book is a thing I hear a lot for people's goals. I think a lot of people have that goal to write a book, and I think it's so much easier now than it has ever been to write a book. So it's just a matter of like, let me write some sentences down, see where this goes, start it off. And then for your podcast, what are you like? Don't wait to have a watch party.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? Like have a watch party, invite people, create. I remember when I in terms of like building a brand, when I first before I started FLK Method and I just had Fit Like Krys, I used to make my own merch just for me to wear. I didn't sell it, but I used to wear Fit Like Krys stuff, like just me. And I had Instagram, and I had the Instagram page for, I don't know, maybe like 6 months, because it was still before COVID, maybe a year. But I think I had done challenges, like it was gaining like a little bit of traction in like the Morristown community.
Mhm.
And I was taking a trip somewhere, and I was getting on the plane, and this girl, I love this story because I'm going to bring it back to you with kind of like waiting and doing before. I get on the plane, and this girl goes, "Are you Fit Like Krys?" And I was like, "Yes, I am," and I sort of created this brand before it even existed by just wearing my own stuff. Like, I'm making merch. I didn't wait until there was a demand for merch, like I made it. So like the thing I'm saying with the watch party is like, push it, have it, be excited about it. If 3 people are there or if 30 people are there, and you do that and you create the energy behind it. And if you're consistent, it will come. Consistency brings everything.
I like that. I mean, it's funny that you say that, because somebody for Christmas one year made us mugs with our old logo on it. And I was like, we should just like do more of this stuff and just like have it.
Yeah.
Like car magnets, just like simple stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But I totally, it's not manifesting. It's just like believing in yourself and that being enough. I never was like, I'm going to make merch so that I could have my own company. And like, I never even thought of it like that. And I think that's why it's worked in a lot of ways, is because I was like, I'm going to wear this because I think it's cool. And like, I believe in it. And I'm consistent in it. And I think that that's something that people cannot help but respect, is consistency. So with your podcast, instead of being like, I want to make it big, it's like, I'm showing up because I'm having fun and it's awesome.
That's really what it is.
Right?
It comes down to it. Yeah.
Right. And if you're doing that, then like you're doing it. We just have this, it's so sad in a way that a lot of people are never going to do something that like they're called to do or that they really want to do because they're waiting for an audience.
Yeah, no,
Right?
we didn't. I mean, Danielle and I said like, this is something that we want to do. We always say we want to watch the same shows anyway. Let's just do it and have fun doing it. And she's my best friend, and we just happen to work well together, because I know a lot of times people don't work well with their friends, but we're both patient, we're both flexible, and that's all I can really ask for.
What's something you would do a watch party for that's coming up?
Well, I like doing them for the award shows. I mean,
when's the next award show?
I think the Emmys are in September.
Okay.
Yeah. Either something like that, or if it was like a movie that was coming out that we could stream. And
so what does a watch party even look like?
So it would be, you could have it at a venue or like at a bar or something, or you could like just have it. I don't know if I have enough room in my house, but if people wanted to order like different drinks at the bar, hang out a little bit earlier, and then when it's time to start, sit wherever you want. Maybe a projector comes down, it's on in the background. And then like when there's commercial breaks, it could be just like time for.
So are you streaming it? Like, are people watching the watch party?
No, it could be that way, but if it was in person, everybody would just watch it together.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's cool. It's just like an event outside the podcast.
Yeah.
I've never been to a watch party.
Well, you don't watch TV.
I don't.
So
yeah. But I love award shows.
I do too. I think they're fun.
But Emmys is TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down for like Oscars,
Globes.
Do you guys talk about sports too? Because you're big into sports.
Well, when the Giants are in season, we usually start the podcast about how much pain we're in.
Yeah.
Personally. Because it's just been incredibly. Danielle's philosophy is, I can do football. It's 16 games. Because I like baseball, I like hockey, and it's like 100 and however many.
Oh my goodness.
Games.
I'm like, football, I like, you're in and you're out.
Yeah. Well, you understand. You're a Jets fan. I mean, it's just constant pain. My mom's a Jets fan. I understand.
I don't know how that happened to me, being from Boston. I didn't even get the glory of the Patriots when they were the Patriots. But anyway, I also, before you leave, you're so you.
Oh, thank you.
Like you are so you. You can't like not be you. And how do you do that? Or like, how do you teach someone, or what tips can you give someone to like even when you were talking about, you could have gave me totally a canned answer for the yoga thing, right? And you're just like, I'm just going to tell you. And you're just so you. Did you learn how to do that? Did someone teach you how to do that? Like, how do you?
I mean, this still shocks a lot of people, but I remember, so my dad passed when I was in college, but I've had a lot of like short conversations with him that were really impactful. And I remember this one when I was a kid, and it was like after softball or something. And
What's his name?
Sal.
Sal.
Yeah.
Solid name.
Salvatore Anthony Mastroni.
Whoa.
Very, very Italian.
Oh, I'm listening to anything this guy says. Hit me.
And people used to also tell him he looked like Tony Soprano. So it was, anyway, I just remember.
Wait, did he?
Yeah. And then he started dressing like him. And I was like, Dad, you can't. He's like,
That's a lot.
He's like, I'm falling into it. I'm doing it.
I'm embracing
I'm doing it. Then we had a dachshund. He used to call him Gagoots. I was like, it's too much.
Okay, Sal. So what's Sal say?
I just remember him telling me when I was a kid, he said, you were always really shy. And in my head, I was like, we look about the same person. Like, I don't think of me as a shy. He's like, no, when you were younger, you were really shy. Because I am an only child. I didn't really have siblings to talk to myself.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've learned so much about myself in this 45 minutes. And he said, I'm just really proud that like you're just becoming a person who likes to talk to other people, which is hysterical because my father used to hate like everybody.
Okay.
And then he would eventually like people. But I just like, come around to him. And I was always the opposite.
I relate.
For me, I was just like, what's not to like about a person? And I kind of go into it like that. And then, you find out maybe there's something not to like. And
why you're
respectfully, I understand. Okay, I can understand where you're coming from. But I've never gone into anything with like hate or malice. I've always tried to go into something with kindness. And when I'm struggling, I like to tell people. And I know that sometimes that can be a lot for people, but I feel like always being transparent is helpful. And I'm transparent with my students. I'm transparent with my colleagues, with my friends. I think that's important. I try not to hide too many things. It's very easy to tell when I'm hiding something. I'm also a terrible liar.
That's a good quality to have. Because lying is just something you have to just spend so much effort to.
But also, like, not helpful if there's a surprise party. Don't tell me. Just also let me be surprised.
Yeah.
I'll walk them in. Gets better that way. Don't help me rob a bank. I can't do it. Don't ask me to do it.
So you feel like it's still, I always want to try to pull tips from people and nuggets of things to help, because practical application is so important. Because when you say to someone, oh, be yourself, that's so hard for some people.
But everybody's self is different. Like for me, transparency is my true self.
That's good.
I like to be transparent.
Okay. So speak a little more on that. So if someone is not, just because someone's not transparent doesn't mean they're not being themselves.
No, but for me, that helps me in situations. So like the first class that I taught, right?
Yeah.
My hands started shaking and I said, my hands are literally shaking right now.
Yeah.
I find that when I tell people that I'm nervous instead of trying to hide it, people are more willing to work with me. And also then once I get that out of my system, I can then focus on the next thing that I have to do.
Yeah.
So it helps me. And I think it helps people understand me. And I think if you're working with me and if I'm working with you, it's important for me to understand where you're coming from. Otherwise things will never get done.
Yeah.
I'm also patient more with other people than myself. But if you ask my mom and my husband, they will tell you that I'm very much not patient. I think it's because I'm a teacher.
Isn't that always how that goes?
I wring it out everywhere else. And then by the time I come home, I have none left. I think that's what it is.
That's because you feel most comfortable with your mom and your husband. So you're like, just get it done. Okay. Just get it done. Yeah. I think it's just a good point. In what you're describing sounds like comfort. And in a lot of ways, comfort can be dangerous, but in a lot of ways it can be an indication that you're sort of in the right space. It's sort of a thin line. But when it comes to being yourself, I think if you feel like anxious and stressed, there's probably something that you're not being aligned with, right? But the transparency helps if you are transparent and it allows you to step more into yourself after that, then it's something that you can kind of practice. But if you're transparent and it makes you more nervous, then maybe let's figure out a better way.
Or have like a circle that you feel most comfortable. See, I'm very comfortable being uncomfortable, except for scary movies.
Yeah.
I don't mind putting myself in new situations and learning. Like I've done fly fishing, I've done mountain biking, like I've tried new things all the time. And then I decide like, this isn't for me. I'm going to break my leg.
Yeah.
Right. Or I would like to do more of this. But I think those things kind of help me laugh at myself, kind of help me, realize that I'm beating myself up and that I shouldn't do that. But honestly, and I've learned this as being a part of the community, that if I don't treat myself with kindness, this whole thing isn't going to last.
Yeah.
And that was, after my hip injury and I gained all that weight. And then we created a plan for me to get my shit together. But if I didn't say to myself, like, you are lovely today, regardless of the size, regardless of the clothes, and you are going to make good decisions to just be healthy, whatever they are.
Love it.
But I have you to thank.
Oh,
that was a big part of like why I stayed. Yeah.
I'm so happy for that because you're awesome. So you should feel awesome all the time. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.